a street photographer here in Bangkok, Thailand. I'm just about to go out for the day and shoot some photos in Chinatown. It's about 40 degrees out there today, Celsius, which is just an absolute scorcher. So I'm gonna see how long I can last out there, how long my cameras last. I'm a bit worried. I just got a Insta360 action cam as a chest cam, and I'm kind of worried about that overheating. So we're gonna see how long that one lasts. But yeah, it's going to be a nice day, but very hot, and I'll see what I can get.
I'm starting off the day in Old Town, which is near the Grand Palace and some of the bigger temples, as well as near the biggest flower market in Bangkok. I started the day just taking photos of anything I saw to get warmed up. I was using a 50mm 2.5 Summarit to begin with. Because of the heat, there wasn't much happening here on the edge of the flower market. I love shooting in this area. The people are very friendly and they don't seem to notice the camera. I spotted something here on the edge of this bridge. There are a lot of lines and a car in the foreground to give it a little bit of depth. I just had to wait for people to walk there. I tried to get something with these bikers, but there was nothing there. I stayed shooting in the same location, but this time more direct. Again, I just needed a person to walk through. I really liked these two images and was happy to move on. I don't like to stay in one spot very long and prefer to move to find the next one. Thankfully, as I was moving, I saw this and took another. I very rarely use my 75mm lens, but I felt like I wanted to try something I wouldn't normally do. These delivery drivers are incredible. They carry so much on such a small bike. Being out taking photos like this is a real lesson in failure. You walk for hours and sometimes you take hundreds of photos and sometimes none. There's so many times I've missed a photo by just a second or two, but you just have to know that the good ones will come. I decided to walk towards Chinatown, but to try and find a street I had never taken. I wanted to see something new, even if I knew there weren't going to be many people around until I got to a more central area. I've spent most of the last 6 years in Bangkok, and I've less than a month left before I move to Vietnam. I've seen these streets hundreds of times, and each time there's a surprise or something new. I've never been to a city as alive as Bangkok. It can be overwhelming at first, but it truly is a special place in the world, and somewhere I will miss. I originally went into this small alley because it had some shade, but then I saw these flowers with the clean background, and I'm pretty happy with the result. As interesting as everything was, my cameras were starting to overheat, So I headed to the main road in Chinatown to get some lunch and let things cool down. After lunch, I put on my 24mm and went back to my comfort zone. I love that I can be discreet with this lens. The people of Bangkok are extremely friendly, but I still like to be quick and capture the moment and move on. So many times I'm shooting low and zone focusing while constantly moving. I had to stop here for a moment and have a look. It's an old school camera shop, has a bunch of vintage everything and seems to be packed full. A relic of the past, but nothing I needed right now. In many ways, this image sums up a big part of life in this city. Finding shade or wherever it's cool, talking and eating. This man had so much character, and it's one of my favorite photos from the day. I felt bad afterwards with this guy because I think he was going for a high five and I thought it was just a wave. I came into a nice part of Chinatown. Quiet during the day, but at night filled with hipster bars and cafes that charge 400 baht for a cocktail. I've never really understood this practice. Men set up on the sidewalks to sell amulets and other good luck charms. Buyers analyze them with jeweler loops before buying. You find them throughout the city. This isn't a great photo, but I'm happy I took it just for the memories. I love how she looked up at me just at the right second. I know the area well, but I have no set path or route. There are times when I will listen to my instinct and turn down one street, but then there are times where I will go against it and walk the opposite direction. Crossing the road was a learning curve for me in Asia. Sometimes there are no lights and you just have to feel the rhythm of the traffic and sense that cars will stop and let you cross. With the way that I shoot, I sometimes don't get the focus right, like in this photo. But sometimes it doesn't matter because you still get that feeling of the scene. There's nothing special about this photo except that the little girl on the back of the bike gave me such a huge smile. It was a nice moment between strangers. Sometimes I feel like these scenes are from a movie, that all these people are actors and I'm just capturing moments in their film. Kids were out picking their water guns for the upcoming Thai New Year celebrations called Songkran. Parts of the city become a huge water fight where you wash away all the misfortunes of the past year. I think these three thought I was approaching them because I wanted a ride. I decided to stop for a second and see if I could catch something in the reflection of this window. At this point, I was mostly done for the day. I walked around a little bit more after this and got a few more with the body camera off. I think I spent about 5 hours out and walked about 23,000 steps.
So I hope you enjoyed a sort of day in the life of being a street photographer in Chinatown, Bangkok. I'm going to continue this series for the rest of my time in Thailand and then wherever I go to next. If you have any questions or comments, please be sure to leave them down below, and I'll see you next time.